Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a PvP tier list of classes that are my favorites. A lot of people always ask me what are my favorite classes to play, what is my main, stuff like that. So I figured I'd make an updated video on it, and yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. First up is Warlock. So I'm going to be putting this in my favorites category. I've been playing it a lot on videos, a lot on stream. Pros for Affliction, it is a rot heavy oriented spec, so if you like seeing people rotted down, you might love Affliction. It's also very good against healers, because if they dispel your unstable Affliction, they get hit in the face and silenced for a few seconds, and it is absolutely fun to deal with healers that way. So if that sounds like fun to you, give Affliction a try. They also have Shadow Rift, which is very powerful on certain maps. Just some examples: Battleground Blitz, Eye of the Storm middle, where there's rocks on the side, you can put your portal down there. Shadow Rift, their team, especially healers, and the healer gets line of sight, then your team can finish somebody and steal the flag, stuff like that. So and that's just one example. Another one, for example, if you want more, is like Deep Wind. You can put a portal on the side wall and rift them out that way, and they have to walk all the way back to the middle again. And then you can Shadow Rift them off AV bosses, for example, stuff like that. So the only downside to playing Affliction is that I feel like it's the more squishy out of the three lock specs. Also, if you don't set up your ports and gateway correctly, you will get screwed. And it's also one of the more slowest classes in the game, mobility-wise. I would probably put it as the second slowest class in the game, personally. And that's pretty much the cons for playing Affliction. But if any of the pros sound good to you, give Affliction a try. It is really fun. I would highly recommend it. Up next is Arcane. If you've been watching my channel, I have not really. I've always said I don't enjoy Arcane Mage, and it would always be in the not interested category. Having said that, I will graduate it to the fun and every once in a while category. I've been playing it a few times for videos and on stream lately, so I will graduate it from the not interested to fun every once in a while. Having said that, it's still not one of my favorite things to play, but I will say I enjoy it every once in a while, and it's kind of fun. Now for the pros. If you hate melee and dealing with them, play Arcane Mage. It is very strong against melee. You control melee pretty much every time. It is so freaking hard to catch an Arcane Mage. They are slippery little freaking demons. So if you want to troll melee, then Arcane Mage will be for you. It's got good mobility, strong burst, strong consistent damage. The only con is that it doesn't have double ice block like Frost does, and if you get spell locked, you will be screwed. So do keep that in mind. Those are the only cons, but if the rest sound good to you, give Arcane Mage a try, as it is a decent spec. Up next is Warrior. If you guys know, I play my Warrior every once in a while. I've never really been too big on Warrior, as I am primarily, usually, other than streaming, by myself and solo player. And Warrior in general is not really a solo type of class. So the con is it's better with people that you queue with, or a pug that knows what they're doing. Other than that, it's got strong burst, strong consistent damage, got a mortal strike. It does have better survivability, so which is why I put it in the second category, because I've been playing a decent amount, and survivability is better right now. So even solo queuing, it's not really as bad, but you will still have a rough time solo queuing sometimes, because it's better. Overall, Warrior in general is just better with a team that can have your back. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest con for Warrior right now. Other than that, Blade Storm is extremely satisfying. I love it. Mortal Strike is really nice. They got really good damage, somewhat decent mobility, but the con is it's better with teammates that know what they're doing. You'll probably get kited a lot. I can't tell you how many times kiting a kite Warrior, and they probably get tilted from it on pretty much most classes, and that's probably the biggest con for Warrior at the moment. But I do still have fun with my Warrior every once in a while, which I guess you could say after I said that, I put that in that category, but I play Warrior way more than Arcane Mage, so I'm putting it in the second category for that reason. Up next is Assassin Rogue. I play my Assassin Rogue when I get tilted for rogues, and it's my favorite rogue spec personally. If you're into something that also rots things down, basically it's a melee version of rot class like a Affliction Lock. So You can garrote silence healers or casters and multiple people once if they're stacked. You can cleave everybody down if they're stacked. If you've been in Battlegrounds a lot, you will notice that there's like rogues can sometimes, assassin rogue can top damage quite a lot because their cleave damage is really nuts. And also, they don't have the best CC compared to sub and outlaw, but they can lock people down pretty easy. But if you do your garrote and kidney shots pretty well, you can just lock healers out of the fight pretty well as well. But yeah, they got strong cleave damage. They got sudden demise, which automatically kills somebody instantly if they're low enough. Even works through Mistweaver bubbles, but that's still pretty rare because most of the time they do it at higher HP, but can happen. They also have Double Vanish, which is another pro. The only con I would say to Assassin Rogue right now is that it's the squishiest out of the 3 rogue specs, so do keep that in mind. But other than that, they're pros, very strong in team fights, decent 1v1s, really insane defenses because they have an answer for pretty much everything. Um, Strong cleave, there's way more pros than cons, so if that sounds good to you, give Assassin Rogue a try. Up next is Boomkin. If you're new to my channel, I am a balanced druid main. It has been my main for a long time. It is very strong for battlegrounds, got really good mobility, has self-heals to heal yourself. It's got some of the best CC in the game between Cyclone and Ruth Beam. It's got really strong AoE for battlegrounds with Starfall. It's got one of the best bursts in the game. Cause if you've seen my videos, Boomkin videos, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, go watch a Boomkin video and you'll see exactly what I mean. And yeah, cons for Boomkin is that even though they do have self heals, regrowth is like the weakest thing ever. It's like so garbage. It is so unbelievably bad that sometimes I wonder why we even have it still. They need to buff regrowth. It's so bad. Defensives, I feel like we have some of the weakest defenses in the game. For example, Warrior, you can continue beating on your targets while popping your defenses. While Balanced Druid, you have to go bear form and you can't do anything. It's like all these other classes that can pop like Undying Resolve or Evasion, Cloak of Shadows, and continue beating on you. Well, Boomkin, you have Bark Skin, of course, but that can only help so much. And then bear form, you just have to sit there and just watch people beat on you when you can't do any damage back. So that's the biggest con to playing Boomkin at the moment. So which I know you guys can, like some people are gonna say you can kite and all that stuff, which is true, but I'm sure a lot of people know people can get back on you pretty much practically instantly anymore. Like even though Dread has good mobility, like there's like double shadow steps, heroic leap, 2 charges, it's just fell rush. There's so many ways that people can just get back on you. So that's what I mean. So that's the only con for playing Boomy is that our defenses kind of suck. So that's my biggest complaint. Otherwise, I love Boomkin at the moment, and I would highly recommend giving it a try. If you haven't, it is so much fun. I main it for, because it's a lot of fun. I'm always probably gonna main it, and yeah, so highly recommend. And that's why I main Boomkin. Up next is Beast Mastery Hunter. I don't really have much interest in Beast Mastery currently at all. I haven't had interest in Beast Mastery in quite a while, actually. The last time I probably played it was when Barb Shot was not a thing. I don't really enjoy the whole Barb Shot playstyle of Beast Mastery at the moment. So that's probably why I have zero interest in it. Having said that, the pros, it's a pet class, so you can watch as your pets beat on a target from a mile away. You can also do decent 1v1s because Beastmaster is a good 1v1 spec. You also never have to cast at all. So if you want to play something that has 0 casting and can just don't have to fake cast or anything and just beat the target's face all day every day, then give Beastmastery a try. Cons. The only con I can think of for Beast Mastery is the fact that pets can sometimes be a pain in the butt to deal with sometimes. I do have pet macros, and I suggest making one if you are planning to play Beast Mastery yourself, because if your pet's in the middle of the jungle and doesn't come near you when you're fighting somebody, and you can get screwed because of that reason. So that's the only con I can think of for Beast Mastery right now. Other than that, their pros just way out do their cons. So if any of that sounds good to you, give Beast Mastery a try. And yeah. Up next is Demo. I played Demo 3 times now in the past week, and I still don't really have much interest in it. It's just not my kind of thing. If you're into something similar to Beast Mastery, except it's a caster, then it's basically essentially the same playstyle. The only difference between Beast Mastery and Demo is that Demo has more ramp up time than Beast Mastery does, and it's very tanky. Demo is slower than a Beast Mastery, obviously. Demo has to actually cast and can be interrupted, unlike Beast Mastery, um, and stuff like that. The only con to playing Demo is the fact that, in my opinion, after playing it, is the ramp up time. But the one thing that might sell this for a lot of people is that you can actually CC somebody if you're being CC'd as well. Like, for example, if a rogue open ups on you, you can Felguard stun them, and then they'll obviously probably trinket it, but and then you can just mortal coil them afterwards unless they cloak of shadows. But that's just an example, and that's only on rogue. You can just do something else if it's some other class. But yeah, if that sounds good to you, give Demo a try. But I just personally, for me, I didn't enjoy Demo as much. I'll still probably maybe play every once in a while, so I guess I could technically put it in this row, but it's just not something I really have as much fun with, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in the not interested category. Up next is Destro. This is my favorite out of the three Warlock specs by far. Cast Bolt is one of the most satisfying abilities to push in the game. If you're into something that has like insane burst damage, like 5 to 9 million Chaos Bolts, give Destro a try. The only con to playing Destro is that you'll probably get trained a lot. It is the amount of people that will just train you. I see this in my comment section too. People that play Destro, that you just get trained a lot. So if you don't like being trained, probably might not like Destro. But that goes back to what I was saying about Affliction. You just need to set up your portals and gateways in the right areas. If you don't, you'll be kind of screwed. But having said that, you can just 2 to 3 shot people all the time. It is so fun. It is so great. So if that sounds fun to you, playing an insanely powerful burst class like that, then give Destro a try. It is so fun. I love um, playing Destro. There's way more cons to playing Destro than there's way more pros than cons to playing Destro. The only con I would say, like I said, is just you'll probably get trained a lot, and it's also one of the slowest classes in the game. Not the slowest, but it's one of the slowest. So that's about the only 2 cons. So if that sounds good to you, give Destro a try. Up next is Devastation Evoker. Very fun. Highly recommend playing this class. You are, as of right now, until next patch, you are immune to CC with Nullifying Shroud. You can be immune to CC 3 times. It is getting changed, but as of right now, after this patch, you can do that. You also can be immune to kicks with your defensives, so you can just free cast and not worry about getting kicked. You cannot be slowed either with the PvP talent, so you can just hover and never be slowed, so you can make a melee's life a living hell. It's got okayish self-healing. It's better than Boomkin's at least. The cons. It's the 25-yard range. No matter how long I played this, I still can never get used to it. It can be tilting at times. I cannot tell you how many times I still get frustrated with that. So some people might be turned off by that, but it's just very frustrating. And then the cons, it's one of the more squishy specs in the game. But yeah, if any of that sounds good, give it a try. Also, Devastation paired with a Frost DK on your team absolutely kills teams. If you want proof, I have some videos of it up where Devastation can just melt an entire team compared with a Death Knight. It's too strong. It's too strong. That's all I'll say. So if that sounds good, give Devastation a try. Up next is Elemental. We will be putting this in the fun but does not beat favorites category. I was tempted to put this in the fun every once in a while, but what sells Elemental for me right now is the big Tempest. I love doing huge Tempests. If you want to see a video on it, tons of them on the channel. It's the only thing that's been making Elemental fun for me at the moment, as Shaman in general is just one of my least favorite classes to play, but I'm putting it in there and for that reason. That's my biggest pro for Elemental. If you want to hit big Tempests, give Elemental a try. It is a lot of fun. For cons, my con with Elemental is I feel like it takes so much ramp up time to do damage. You have to push like all these different abilities before you can get your damage out, and then sometimes even by the time you get all your stuff out, either it takes so long, and then sometimes stuff is either dead or your team's dying by the time you get damage out. So like you can do something like insanely in the first few seconds but you gotta ramp it up. You gotta push all your stuff and just stuff like that. Also, it's similar to Destro where you're gonna get trained a lot. Like There's a saying that PvPers always say. I haven't seen it that much lately, but I'm sure people might remember this one. It's like train the blue, and I'm sure that speaks for itself. Train the blue. So if that doesn't sound good to you, you might not enjoy Elemental. I'm just not a big fan of Elemental myself, but Tempest has made me change my tune a little bit on Elemental, as it's a lot of fun to do that. But it's also got better self healing than a lot of other self healing classes as well. But yeah, I love Big Tempest. It's made Elemental a lot more fun to me lately. But outside of that, it does take a lot of ramp up time, which I don't really like, as I like just going absolutely ham on people. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. And if any of that sounds good to you, give Elemental a try. Um, it's got a lot of utility. It's got decent self healing. Tempest is really fun to hit Big Tempest. Stuff like that. So those are the pros for Elemental. Up next is Enhancement. Zero interest in Enhancement. I know a lot of people want me to play it. I played it once, and it's just not my kind of thing. I feel like, here's the cons first. It gets kited really easy, very squishy. Um, that's just my experience for playing Enhancement. For the pros, it's got very strong burst. I've been blown up by Enhancement. I've done it for the one video I did Enhancement on. It's got the best self healing in the game, but that goes back to being squishy because their defensive is basically their self healing. So you'll get kited a lot, and unless you have like these maelstroms and keep self healing yourself, you will die pretty quickly as Enhancement. So do keep that in mind. But it's got decent damage. It's got good burst. I've seen it. I've seen other people do it. So, but also if it's not a meta, it's not a meta spec. So if you want to play something that's not meta, Enhancement will probably be for you as well. Because there are some people that like playing non-meta specs. But if any of that sounds good, give Enhancement a try. It's just not my kind of thing. And yeah, that's the reason why I'm putting it in a not interested category. Up next is Feral. Not really much to say about Feral. It's one of my favorite things to play, of course, but it's basically the exact same thing as Assassin Rogue. It's basically a rot type spec, similar playstyles. The only thing different compared to both of them is that Assassin Rogues have Vanish, Feral doesn't. Feral has self healing. Assassin Rogue doesn't have that much self healing. They have Crimson Vial, but we're talking about like self heals. Um, Feral can't be polymorphed. Rogues can. Feral Druid is one of the best 1v1 specs in the game. Although Assassin's decent at 1v1 as well. Yeah, but it's pretty much the exact same playstyle, just different things that they're good at. So if you're interested in seeing rotting people down, spec that's one of the best 1v1 specs in the game, we're really good at uh, rotting people down, stuff like that, then Feral Druid will be for you. Also, it has some of the best CC ever as well, with a 30-second maim and Cyclone, stuff like that. Also, their survivability is also really good this expansion as well. They don't die as easy as they did in Dragonflight in my experience. So, I would say probably maybe the one con for Feral is that it's also not an easy class to learn. So, if you're looking for something easy, Feral is probably not going to be for you. You would probably have an easier time playing Assassin. That's probably the best con I would say for Feral. Other than that, there's so many pros to playing it. So, give Feral a try if that sounds good to you. It is a lot of fun. One of my favorite things to play. Up next is Fire Mage. One of the specs I just don't have any interest in. It's pretty much a burst spec, so if you're interested in playing something bursty, Fire Mage will be for you. It doesn't really do much damage outside of Combustion, but Combustion does come back up pretty fast, so it's not really a huge issue. But they don't really do much damage outside of Combustion. Also, they don't have double Ice Block like Frost does. I feel like it's also very hard to kite on a Fire Mage compared to Arcane and Frost. That's just my experience from playing a short amount of Fire Mage that I played. And yeah, the only the only con I would say to playing Mage is the fact that you will be hunter food. And there's so many hunters in the game anymore. It's one of the most populated class. So if you hate dying to hunters, you will not like playing Fire Mage. That's the only thing I could say. But yeah, so that's my reason for not playing Fire Mage. I just don't have much interest in Fire Mage right now. It's just not my kind of thing. You just don't do much damage outside Combustion. I feel like it's a lot harder to kite compared to like Arcane and Frost. I know there's a talent that you can slow people down with, so I know people will tell me that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my reason for not playing Fire Mage. Frost Mage, my go-to mage spec. I love it a lot. You get double ice block, you get perma slowed in every one of your abilities. You can make Millie's life a living hell, and you can just AoE cleave everybody in general and middle and keep them perma slowed. And if you've gone up against a Frost Mage, you will know how annoying it is to have to be rooted 24/7. Even like in AoE fights, it's just so tilting. So Frost Mages make people absolutely miserable. Ice Wall, even though all three specs get this, is one of the most broken things in the game. Similar to Shadow Rift, it can ninja cap bases with Ice Wall, especially in Blitz, if you use it correctly, and you can lock people out of the fight, like healers for example, which is very strong. And yeah, the only con is similar to Fire Mage and Arcane is you are Hunter food, but you do have Snowdrift, which is very powerful against Hunters, so you can just go up to them, Dragon's Breath them if they trinket, or you can polymorph them first, get a trinket out of them if you're lucky, and then Snowdrift them, and then try 100-0 in the Snowdrift, and you might have a chance against Hunters. That's what I usually do. But yeah, I love Frost. Out of the three major specs, has better survivability than all three of the mage specs, and it's got really good damage, perma slowed on every ability, so you can kite like forever. You know, a melee will never touch you, so on and so forth. So if that sounds good, give Frost Mage a try. Up next is Frost DK. I've been enjoying Frost DK a lot. The pros, you can just cleave everything. I have a short out right now. It's called Frost DK AoE is OP. I also have other Frost DK videos up if you want to see a good example of what a Frost DK cleave damage can do, and why I've been enjoying it lately. It is so much fun. If you are with a Devastation Evoker, you can pretty much nuke entire teams by yourselves. Done it multiple times. Had it happen to me multiple times. It is just absolutely insane. The only con is that anything physical related, you will probably die to, because physical classes just destroy you. Warrior, Marksman Hunter, can't tell you how many times they just absolutely shred you. It's just, if they target you, it's rough. It's also not one of the best 1v1 specs in the game, so do keep that in mind. It does good in team fights. That's just their strength. But 1v1s, they have a rough time. Like anything 1v1 related against a warrior or a rogue that knows what they're doing, feral, stuff like that, you just will have a hard time with. So, but I can say I have way too much fun just AoE cleaving everything on my Frosty Cannon. It's become one of my favorites lately. But I just wanted to list the cons out. If any of that sounds good to you, then play Frosty K. It is a lot of fun. Also, do keep in mind we're losing Abomination Limb next patch, so I'm not sure how they're going to be doing next patch, but we'll see. Up next is Fury Warrior. I'm not sure where to put this. I'm not going to put this in a not interested category because I played it in the past, but I have not played Fury Warrior in probably one or two seasons now. I just haven't been into it lately, but I think I'd play it like every once in a while. I know ironically I say that as I said I have played through the season, but I do enjoy Fury Warrior more than the ones not in the not interested category. So I'm putting it for that reason. Cons, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Warrior. It's just better in team fights than with people that know what they're doing. If you have a healer with you, Deathwish Fury Warrior is the most broken thing ever. I've seen Deathwish Fury Warriors solo entire teams with a healer with them. So if you have a healer with you and play Deathwish, just wipe entire teams by yourself. It's crazy. They just destroy everything. So that's the biggest pro to playing Fury Warrior. If that sounds good to you, give Fury Warrior a try. Otherwise, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Armed Warrior. It's just better with pugs that know what they're doing or healers that know what they're doing. Up next is Havoc Demon Hunter. I used to be a huge Havoc Demon Hunter fan. I loved Havoc Demon Hunter a lot, but I just don't enjoy it as much these days. I haven't enjoyed it much this expansion. I play it every once in a while at this point. It's just not something I enjoy. I love the mobility. I love the built-in glider. I love the never die to fall damage. I love the double jump. Their damage is fine, but the biggest complaint I have for Demon Hunter right now is that their survivability is totally garbage. They are worse than. I never saw I say this because I always say this before, but Warrior is just always good with a healer, and the roles have been reversed. Warrior you can kind of play without a healer now. It's still better without a healer. I mean, with a healer. But having Demon Hunter, I feel like it's not even that fun solo wise anymore. It's just their survivability took a huge hit this expansion. They took away like all their survivability. Their leech is just a joke. They took away the demon to self-heal from that, and yeah, I know some people might disagree with me, and that's fine, but every demon hunter I see just flops anymore. I've had some friends talk about it. I've had people talk about it on stream, and it's just their survivability just is totally bad right now. I feel like they just die, like in general. And they need a healer with them these days. They're so easy to kill. So that's my biggest con to playing Demon Hunter right now, and why I just don't have fun with it anymore. Other than that, obviously I listed so many pros, but the one con that I have right now just makes it so unfun right now. And if they didn't have that problem, Demon Hunter would be in my favorites category right now. So until they buff their survivability and make them decent again, survivability wise, I just have fun with it every once in a while. It was a fun class, but if you still like the pros, with the like can't die to fall damage, got insane mobility, good damage, um, stuff like that, then give Demon Hunter a try. It's a fun class. It's just that you'll have really bad survivability. To keep that in mind. Up next is Marksman Hunter. I don't think this will shock anybody. I'm a huge Battleground fan. Marksman Hunters are really good in Battlegrounds. There's like literally, I feel like no con to Marksman Hunters are right now. They're really broken. I don't think that anybody needs to disagree with me on that. Go watch any of my Marksman Hunter videos. You'll see how broken they are. They have good self healing, probably sometimes even better self healing than some of the hybrids. They got good CC. You can shoot farther from more than any other caster, and they don't need to cast at all. I mean, you can cast aim shot, but unless you line aside it, it can't be interrupted or CC them technically. So you can't be like interrupted, other than like I said. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't really think of a con for Marksman Hunter right now. I mean, I guess con they die in stuns. You can say that about anything though. But I mean, just yeah, I mean, they're so strong, they're ridiculous at the moment. So I enjoy my Marksman Hunter. If that sounds good to you, they're just so insane at the moment. Give it a try. Everybody else is playing one right now, anyways. Up next is Outlaw Rogue. I'm putting this in not interested category. It's just not my kind of thing. Pros, they have some of the insane mobility. They can stop people from capping bases or speedrun flags. For example, a lot of the time when I see Outlaw Rogues and Battleground Blitz, they will speedrun to like Drene Ruins, for example, or a different base in a different map and try and stop them from capping, and spin it as long as I can, and the other team will get ahead because the Outlaw Rogue spun it. And stuff like that. And an Outlaw Rogue could speedrun flags, seen it happen tons of times, and fast cap. Cons, their damage is just some of the weakest in the game. Like, there's even I know somebody who mains Outlaw that says the same thing. So they're more tanky than the other than Assassin Rogue, in my opinion. So there's that. They're also the only other rogue spec besides Assassin that can team fight. But like I said, you have to work 100 times harder to do any damage versus like going on a Death Knight or a Warrior or a Demon Hunter or a Feral, where you can just go absolutely ham and for like no effort. Versus Outlaw, where you have to put a million times more effort to just barely get any damage out compared to the other ones. So that's the biggest con to playing Outlaw Rogue. I know I just don't have fun with it. It's pretty weak at the moment damage wise. Up next is Ret Paladin. I have fun with this, but it's just not in my favorites category. There's so many pros to playing Ret. You have 9 lives. You have self heals. It's the ultimate sports mech. You can kill people in stuns because stuns come up all the time. You have there's so many pros. Also, forbiddance is basically not even a weakness anymore. So, for example, a lot of paladins will use Blessing of Spell Warden or Protection or Lay on Hands, and then if they're low again, then you can just bubble during forbiddance and just nuke your target anyway. So they have so many freaking lives, it's insane. The only con is that you might hate your life versus frost mages, but that's honestly really it. There's like no con I feel like to Ret Paladin really that much, in my opinion. So it's also one of the strongest 1v1 specs in the game as well. So if all of that sounds good to you, give Ret Paladin a try. It is very, very strong at the moment. Up next is Shadow Priest. I've been playing this in a decent amount as well lately. Pros. It's got some of the most. That's probably got the most utility in the game. Probably even more than Ret. It's got a silence, siphon, mind control, stun, fear, leap of faith, life swap. It's got so many things. I also call Shadow Priest one of the few healer killer specs in the game, like Affliction. Siphon is incredibly strong against healers, and you can nuke healers with Siphon, or it can help your team and get a Siphon on them and nuke healers that way. Cons. It is the slowest class in the game, not even a contest. It is the absolute slowest class in the game. So if you try to get away, you're never getting away. You're gonna have to kill your target. It's just how it is. And sometimes it's gonna change in the future, but Death Knights would just try and mainly Blood DK would just try and keep you locked and locked down, and you couldn't do anything. So that's getting changed, but even still, I think Unholy DK and Frost will still lock you down anyways, but you kind of get my point. That's the biggest con to Shadow Priest, is you have to kill your target. You've got no mobility. But other than that, there's way more pros than cons. Like I said, they're tanky. They have insane utility. They're really good against healers. Mind control people off cliffs. Who doesn't love doing that? And yeah, that's the biggest pros to Shadow Priest. If all that sounds good to you, give Shadow Priest a try. Up next is Sub Rogue. I played a Sub Rogue a little bit more lately. I'm putting this in the fun every once in a while category. I don't enjoy it as much as the top few rows, but it's fun to play every once in a while. Basically, this is the strongest 1v1 spec in the game. You can kill people in stuns, and if you don't, just wait out your stun DR and kill them the next go. It's the most tilting spec to play, or not spec to play, to face in the game. I'm sure a lot of people know, including myself. I hate rogues and despise them. But yeah, basically, if you are interested in something that is the strongest 1v1 spec in the game, love seeing people that are so helpless to die in stuns, laugh at them and as you kill them in the stun, then Sub Rogue is for you. The only big con to playing Sub Rogue is that you do 0 damage outside of Shadow Dance. If you have no Shadow Dances, you might as well AFK. You're done. So. People know this, so they will try and stun you during their goes. I can't tell you how many times I've tilted a Sub Rogue in, like, Shuffle, for example, where I would cyclone their Shadow Dances and they get mad, which makes me happy. But, yeah, so that's the only con to playing Sub Rogue. So, if any of the other ones sound good to you, give Sub Rogue a try. Up next is Survival Hunter. I used to love playing it, but I haven't enjoyed it much this expansion. I feel like it's just kind of, like, not as fun to me rotation wise, this expansion. But if you're interested in a spec that does both melee and ranged, it's the only class in the game that really kind of does both. I guess Red Paladin could kind of do it too, but Survival Hunter does basically a mixture of playing both from ranged and melee, so that's a pro. If you're interested in that kind of thing, you give Survival Hunter a try. I can't really think of any cons for Survival Hunter other than the fact that I just don't like their rotation personally this expansion. So, but if you enjoy something that you never get interrupted, can play both from melee and ranged, decent self-healing, can purge, or not purge, can dispel bleeds, so against assassin rogues and ferals, they're very good, then give Survival Hunter a try. Up next is Unholy DK. Haven't really enjoyed it that much this expansion. I'm not really big on Unholy. I'm not big on ramp up specs, and Unholy's kind of like more of a ramp up spec. I like Frost more because it just goes boom, 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 and you can kill your target. Versus Unholy, it needs ramp up time. I do think Unholy is more tanky than Frost personally. Just thinking from experience from facing them, I do think Unholy's more tanky. If you're into another spec that is like has more pets, then you can beat on people with pets, then you might like Unholy. So if you're into a spec that has pets, can beat people with that, or more tanky, more like a rot spec, then you might enjoy Unholy and give it a try. The only con I would say for Unholy is that, like I said, ramp up, and Unholy is similar to Frost, where physical classes can just absolutely shred you, so do keep that in mind. And those are the only 2 cons I would say for Unholy right now. Up next is Windwalker Monk. I really enjoy Windwalker, but I don't think it's in the same category as my favorites right now. But I enjoy Windwalker a lot. I would say the pros for Windwalker: insane mobility, decent survivability. It's got portals, diffuse magic, karma, fortifying brew, and one of the best 1v1 specs in the game. It also has Fist of Fury, which can parry melee attacks. So, for example, if a warrior is trying to beat on you, Fist of Fury, he can't even hit you at all. Cons is that you will probably instantly hate your life against a good hunter and frost mage and arcane mage that know what they're doing, because you will never reach them. So do keep that in mind. That's the only con that I've run into when playing my Windwalker Monk. Other than that, it's got way more pros, as you can tell. But yeah, against anybody that knows what they're doing when they kite you, you will probably have a rough time. Up next is Augmentation, and I have started playing Augmentation recently. This would have been the not interested category, but after playing it, I am putting in the fun every once in a while. It's not as fun as Devastation for me, but the pros is that it's an ultimate support class. It is a little bit more tanky than Devastation, I think, in my opinion. Um, it's also, like I said, got really insane cleave damage. It can buff your team, so it makes your team even stronger. So you can nuke the enemy team with more buffs. Cons: 25-yard range still, so it is very tilting, similar to Devastation Evoker. And the con is it has to hardcast quite a bit, which you could argue is the same thing for Devastation, but I feel like hardcasting on Augmentation is a little bit more frustrating than Devastation, my opinion. But yeah, so those are the only cons to playing Augmentation, is that you have to hardcast quite a bit, and it's 25-yard range. Other than that, it's very fun to play every once in a while. Would recommend playing it, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think of my decisions. And hopefully I influenced your decision to play something that's on this list. Let me know if you guys are thinking about trying something out now on the list. And that's it. See you guys later.